Honestly, did you not read the colony policy that defined you as company property? That wavers your say in autonomy. The conglomerates got you in lock and key. We are a family forged in bureaucracy. No I in teen, but there's con in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasures exempt from your tenure, so venture back down to your slum. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Manapot Studios. I am Karen Rushmore, and this is our playthrough of the Adventure Path Fly for Your Die in a stream that we call All the Glitters Explodes. My pronouns are he, him. I keep forgetting that at the top. But before anything else, let's reintroduce the crew, starting off with Flimsy.
Hello, I'm JStation64, pronouns he, him, playing Flimsy the Dwarf Mechanic, pronouns also he, him, and Flimsy is enjoyably testing out his snorkel to make sure it all works properly.
His works, what?
I forgot about that. Hi everyone, I am Krifu Bernal, my pronouns are he, him, and I play Yeva, the Sarkeesian corporate agent witch warper, whose pronouns are she, her. I think... How is Yeva feeling? I think she's intimidated by this job. This is a mission that we have not come close to taking on a job of this importance that affects not just like a small trader company, but literally like the fate of a planet, if not a whole solar system.
Next up we got Trix.
I always forget I'm third. Yo! Lord
I have to look at the screen and which numbers are which.
Pronouns are they, them. Playing Trix. Pronouns as she, they. Space pirate extraordinaire. She's pretty chill. Trix is... This is kind of on par with the kind of thing that they'd be in for. It's gonna be fun.
Finally,
I'm Richard. Retro Ted, I play Jahir, who is a Kasatha soldier, now level 4. And Jahir is wondering if he has to get naked or whether he can keep his cloak on.
Why would you have to get naked?
Well, we're going swimming, aren't we? Have you ever tried swimming in full battle armor?
Yes, it's pressurized, so you just sink to the bottom and walk.
Okay, I shall change it then. Jahir has put his speedos over the top of his battle armor and is good to go.
All right. Before we do the reminder of what happened last stream, while I try to remember that as I go over this week's pack facts, one of the things that has finally dropped, it was originally penciled in for about October. But it's finally got released in over the course of the last week, is the new Starfinder book, Galactic Magic. Not sponsored, although Paizo, if you're out there, consider sponsorship. We're listening. But it contains a new class, the Precog. They've got variant rules for a lot of the classes. I've not had a chance to read over those, and I feel that some are basically giving a magical or arcane, mystical, that's the word we use in Starfinder, mystical kick to a lot of the base classes. It features over 100 spells, and more importantly for myself, is right at the back of the book, it actually starts going into a lot of the lore for the setting, including most of the deities, which I just find it really adds to a setting when you've got divine. It's not when you've got just the divines, but it's something that you can weave a story out of, because it's like, okay, this one is going to be about, this deity and these things are happening and etc. But until they actually summarize that in what they've done is a page per deity, you don't really know what they're about too much. You can go back to Pathfinder and read about it there, but there's some interesting things that happen in Starfinder that you just don't get in Pathfinder. Anyway, without further ado, let me tell you about Waden in the Starfinder setting. Waden, the endless horizon, god of discovery, equality, exploration, and freedom. Waden teaches followers to treat everyone they meet with the respect that they will give to Waden themselves, and with good reason. He crafts avatars of himself of all genders and species to wander the galaxy. These avatars don't simply travel from place to place, but also learn and accomplish new things. Waden worshippers come from all walks of life, but one thing that unites all is the love of exploration and freedom. Waden's faith is also popular among those fighting for freedom and equality. Due to his egalitarianism, that's a big word, Waden's church has no real hierarchy. His priests wander the galaxy. His temples are therefore overseen by a rotating staff of clergy, or by those unable to travel themselves, choosing to dedicate themselves to passing on knowledge onto new generations. Temples to Waden are often found on starships, whether active ships or decommissioned hulks. The Starship Temple, called the Liberty Virtue, travels the stars of the vast, currently captained by an android priest named Zelda, who journeys merrily. Yes, that's their name. Despite having no power core, the vessel operates perfectly well. This fact that has fueled speculation that Zelda might be one of Waden's many mortal avatars. In areas where Waden's faith is viewed as suspicious, his temples are awfully hidden in shipyards, marked by the sigil of a keycard being inserted into a starship door. Questions? Comments? Concerns?
I was still Googling the egalitarianism.
It's
I literally spelled it.
egalitarianism.
I spelled it egalitarianism.
Very eagle-centric beliefs.
I actually had to Google that myself, and I've forgotten the definition. It's basically without.
In chat.
Oh, good. Learn. Wait, no. The doctrine of all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. Yeah, it's a very flat structured hierarchy, and to a certain degree, when it comes to positions of power, nobody really should be in charge because we're all equal. So self-governing, more than anarchy, where it's like anarchy is without government. But I guess debatable. Anyway. So yeah, that's Waden.
I think that it's it kind of puts things into perspective. The place we're going to, Gaskar 3, and it being like where those who renounce and denounce the Veskarium go. Like the Veskarium, might is right. Despots rule.
Demaritosh.
Exactly. Like, I can see Demaritosh, the Vest god of warfare, and Waden kind of being like polar opposites. Much in the same way that Zun-Kathan and Desna are. I will also mention that in Horizons of the Vast, the system that they are colonizing is like, I think it's called the Waydana system, and it was like discovered by priests of Waden.
That's cool.
Okay.
I like it as a place, as a refuge from the Vesk, though. Like, thematically, that they would go to a world governed by that kind of god seems very in line with what they're doing.
Yeah, it was actually the original settlers, the renunciants of the Vesk Dominion. It was on board one of the starship temples of to Waden. The colony, the ship landed and has since been turned into a colony. The colony is where you're going to. Hence why this actually ties into the narrative a little bit. And it's also allowed me to read some of the new book. I've not had a chance to sit down and actually read it yet, which is so annoying. So, last week, Not much actually happened last week. There was a lot of downtime.
Check out the VOD, guys.
I mean, it was it's one of them where as as somebody who tries to remember, my memory works off key facets: what happened, who did what, how things felt. It was very entertaining. It was very good narrative-wise. The thing is, you had some downtime for about a week. You got offered a job. You went to go see the guy about the job. You got told about the job. The end. Briefly.
We definitely, did some like investigation, some questioning about the job. Like, I think
It's a lot of info.
Like the learning about this mission, like I said earlier, I think this is probably, in Yeva's opinion, one of the most important jobs we've ever had. And I think like there's a lot to be said about spending the time to like get to know it and really appreciate it.
Yeah, which is fair enough. It's just like that was the summary as how my brain worked. How the summary goes is after delivering the defects to Skitterhaven Ranch and taking care of their Stridamander problem there, the owners of the ranch allowed you to stay around to rest and recuperate after your strenuous work and heroic deeds in defeating the Stridamanders. Towards the end of that, you got a call from one Esho Vio. It's always going to trip me up. Captain Fireheart, as you found out he's a captain, and his surname is his designated name. Vesh gain their names by reputation, not by just inheritance. So Captain Fireheart asked you to come to Vesk 3. No,
We were already on Vesk 3, I think, weren't we? Wasn't
Yep.
it?
We're on Command 3.
You were already on Vesk 3, and he asked you to come to Command 3. There we go. Command 3 is the essential military capital of Vesk 3, because Vesk are very imaginative with names. And when you arrived, he detailed the break-in at which facility?
True Blue. There we go.
True
Blue.
Blue
Sky Blue.
Dye
Yeah,
Works.
Dye Works.
Yeah.
True Blue. Yay! You were keeping notes. The facility had been broken into not once, but twice. The first one being more subtle and subterfuge, having an ex-employee having walked in, gathering up a briefcase that was due for incineration, and stealthily walking out shortly after. Another attack occurred, this one much more violent, leaving any members of staff who interacted with the initial ex-employee being killed, and nothing but a vat of dye being stolen. The thing is, Fireheart isn't too interested in the vat of dye. They believe that it's a cover-up job for the stealing of the briefcase. The briefcase, the reason why it was marked for incineration, is because it contains a number of zapids that have a bacteria that can be used to create the biological weapon called
The Hellfire Toxin.
Hellfire, yeah.
The Hellfire Toxin has only ever been demonstrated once on... Have I told you this much?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Demonstrated once in a city of Buramanda, where it basically killed everybody who inhabited the city. Some instantly, some lingering for 2 to 3 weeks after the initial release. so nasty that not even the Vescarium are interested in using it.
Yeah, it makes you
as-
feel like you're on fire.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
burning without burning.
Burns your mind.
Burns your mind, man.
And with that, they're mainly concerned with getting that briefcase back, or at least bringing in the only known Vesk who knows about the production of the Hellfire toxin. What is their name?
The Butcher of Bramanda.
I got that.
That's the
Oathbreaker.
Formian, right?
Vesk.
No,
Thormian
Vesk.
was the one who stole the briefcase.
Oh, Jask.
Oathbreaker's a Vask. He's a Vask.
A Vask.
We've got the Butcher and Jask. Sounds
Yeah.
kind of familiar, actually.
Does it?
Witcher reference, anyone? Never mind.
No.
Yes, it is.
The Witcher is one of them where it's on my list, but I've never gotten round to playing it because, far.
It can go under the Discord thread of references Chiron won't understand.
Yep. But that would be Jask Bakask, the
Yes.
proprietor of Sonic Future Music Shop.
Their shop is situated on Gascar 3, in the city of Gascari.
Which we assume is the main city.
We're hoping is the main city.
Yeah.
Its denizens constructed a temple of Waden in the ship's forward sections, and it turned into a thriving metropolis.
Perfect.
Oh, so it's Gascaria ship.
Hmm?
It's Gascaria ship.
Gascari was a colony ship, so
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
it landed and has since been repurposed
Yeah.
for city life.
The temple was the ship, right?
It was a temple ship. So basically everybody on board it was followers of Waden.
Right, and now the ship has become the temple in Gascar.
The forward part of the ship is now the temple. The rest of the ship was disassembled for use in housing and other facilities, while the colony was established, and it has now become a thriving metropolis. And that's where you're due to go.
I mean,
Budget.
things still don't add up, but at this point, we should just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
What was the response we got when we asked whether they were after the perpetrator or whether they were after the butcher?
The response was they were after whoever was pretty much at the head of this operation. They highly suspect Oathbreaker being the only person that they are aware of who knows anything about the Hellfire toxin.
Yeah.
As far as Captain Fireheart is aware of, nobody else knows how to make Hellfire toxin out of this bacteria. So what interest would it be to anybody else, especially over there, as it were, being Jask's last known location and Oathbreaker's last known location? Coincidence? You be the judge.
So we're on the way.
Yeah.
We picked up a fresh cargo.
Yep. Off camera, we have discussed they're basically taking fruit, veg, meat,
Pineapples.
We each get to pick a fruit and veg.
Pineapples,
One eggplant.
strawberries.
Except it's like eggplant that's
Yeah,
like
it's huge.
super huge.
You could live in it.
As do some skitamanders do on one of the coasts where the pineapples grow. They basically cut out a door frame and just hollow it out, getting the pulpy flesh out of the pineapple and then living in its carcass.
In the Vescarium, the eggplant emoji means something entirely different.
It means war, as all emojis mean war.
Yes, did we roll on how long it's going to take you to get there? I can't remember.
No, we didn't.
No, I don't think we did.
All right. So yes, the cargo is secured aboard the vessel. You've got Mrs. Spuds.
Yep.
You've got Zobin.
Yep.
And you've got your cargo.
So, when we brought in your new pet companion, I think Yeva is talking to Jahir. Did we rearrange the cabin room at all for her, or is she just and like I think at that point we're opening the door to go in and like see how it's set up? What?
She's an equal member of part of the crew. She's got full reign of the ship. You know, I gave her access to your fancied crystal room and,
What?
and engineering and.
Is that where my spare keycard went?
As he holds up a half-chewed keycard. Mrs. Spudsy saved our lives, and you know we can repay her that debt by letting her use the facilities. You know.
Right. So what is she just laying on the bed in the
In the goblins' room, yeah.
Can't say it smells any different.
Once a day, I take her up to the holodeck and program in a nice stroll through the country.
Aw.
You know, Jahir, I was looking at some of the various nanotech, null space tech on when we were going for a wee shop back there, and there's actually a kind of a kennel you can get to bring such beasties with you, keep them in a wee null space chamber and out of the way, and then when you need them, you can say, "I choose you," and throw it out, and there it comes.
It's pocket-sized.
Exactly.
Oh, well, maybe we could pick one of them up. You know, I mean, she struggles to get in my pocket at the moment, but we did try. I did have another question. I picked up this modification for my weapon, but the Starfinder store owner seemed to think it was a bit strange that I fitted a merciful fusion to my railgun. He seemed a bit confused, but he did it. Is that a normal thing?
It's certainly helpful, given that we'll be getting some more money if we bring this person in alive rather than dead. And you're very good at making things dead.
Exactly, and if you're going to want to hit something, you might as well choose the biggest, most powerfulest weapon you've got to be non-lethal, surely.
Extra non-lethal.
Yeah. So yeah, well, you know, I like that idea. Mrs. Spudsy's is always in my heart. She could always be in my pocket too.
I didn't pick one up, unfortunately. I thought I'd run it by you, but something to keep an eye out for if we get to go shopping on this Geskar planet.
Sounds good. Let's go.
How long does it take us to get to Geskar 3?
That will be up to Trix rolling 3d6.
Yes.
3 1s, here we go.
Yeah. 8.
And half because of the rating of your drift drive brings you down to 4 days. Trix, you're fairly confident that you could potentially speed up that time, but you have just as much chance of getting lost and having to burn more time if you screw it up. So do you want to try and improve on that time?
No.
And is there anything particular that anybody would like to do on the 4-day journey over there?
Lindsay's
Uh,
spent. Sorry, go on.
No, you go for it.
Okay, so Flimsy's probably set a lot of various security systems and like child locks and stuff all around engineering when the goblins were on board, and is steadily going around to just undoing those and making it a bit easier to access various parts of the engineering that he didn't want the goblins to get near. Fake buttons that he'd like drawn on and stuff like that.
You're
Give them a
halfway
Wi-Fi
through when a
hotspot.
defrag walks in. Starts chewing things.
It's not one thing, it's another.
Does anyone have extra UPBs? I know we talked about this last time. I used some for healing serums, but if we have any extra, I could create a few more.
Yeah, but you took all my puzzle pieces.
I did.
I mean, I've got 250 of these things, but I don't know what to do with them. So they're just in a jar on the shelf.
It's not enough for a Mark II healing serum, but I could make several Mark I healing serums, although I think we have enough. Does everyone feel good
Not
about
quite.
the number of healing serums they have?
Got like 3 or something like that.
I also have 3.
Yeah, I've got 3.
Okay.
I've got 3.
Then hold on to them, and when you get 425, come see me, Jahir.
11 between us feels okay for now.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Challenge
you can always
accepted.
convert credits into UPBs.
I could. I seem to have spent most of my credits, though, and I'm not looking forward to spending anymore. She's got a new armor, which she installed with like a cool upgrade to make her more stable as she flies. She's feeling pretty good.
Oh yeah, I'm spent too. I have like 0 credits to my name. Can't even afford a meal.
Big Zubin charges us. That's not fair. We give him room and board. Why is he charging us for this?
No, like
So-
street food, like planet side.
One of the things Owen did actually manage to do is now that seeing as though you've been in civilization for a short while, they've managed to restock their cart. And while they were on in and around Command 3, they discussed this over one of your meals on the journey. Did you find out much about Ironheart?
Ironheart?
Fireheart.
Fireheart?
We know he wasn't looking for a mate. He didn't really have a high enough station to warrant such things. He's married to a job.
Had a beautiful chiseled jaw.
We asked an awful lot about his personal love life, but not much else. Also, he seems really ignorant about the true goings on with the military, which is both adorable and worrying.
He was very nice for a vest military officer, even one with a secret mission for us.
But that's pretty much what I found out as well. He's a decorated officer, primarily known for his loyalty, integrity, and commitment to justice. So, seems to be on the level. And his surname when he rescued Skittermanders and civilians and fellow soldiers from a burning building.
Right,
And
there's some
the
sort of
swarm,
hero at Command 3.
He did mention it once or 5 times.
Wouldn't shut up about it.
I'm a hero, don't you know?
Would that make him like a notable hero, or is it just like part of the course of Vesk to have done things like this during the war and whatnot?
Notable enough, given that it's given him. He's now a decorated officer, and that's where he earned his surname. The more prestigious the surname, the more prestigious event that you took part in, basically. So significant enough to them to warrant, pride.
See if he was like fizzle help. It's a much lower version of what he's done. He's got enough to be Fireheart.
Dimension
Some fire.
Destroyer. Can we dig for dirt on him? Should we dig for dirt on him? He seems a bit too squeaky clean.
No, I think he's legitimately like that one squeaky clean guy they put in a really important sounding position, but ultimately it's just kind of like the backwater position.
Could we glamour ourselves and muddy his name in his image?
On our secret mission, we're like, we're here for Fireheart.
And then blackmail him with it?
I think we've got a little bit more important people to catch. This Oathbreaker woman sounds terribly dangerous.
She sounds dangerous, but I don't think she's fully involved in the way that people think she is at the moment. It's just too convenient.
It's a lead.
A lot of variables.
They know that she's the only one who knows how to work the blue dye into Hellfire Toxin, and I think the question is, why steal all the dye otherwise? I mean,
Well, the dye is different to the bugs, though.
Oh, right, he stole the bugs. The marked for incineration.
I've stolen something from every single job I've done. I thought that was part of the severance pay, that you stole something. we can't, put her down for that.
I think our best bet is to find this Jask person. What were their pronouns again? Jask, Bekask? Besk, Cask?
I think it's them.
Bekask, they, them.
They, them. So I think it's best to find them. It's easy enough. We're traders, we're also tourists new to the city, but walking into a music shop shouldn't be terribly obvious, right?
Right.
We've had experience trading musical goods. We can use that as a front, maybe. Learn a little bit of information without causing too much of a disturbance.
What experience do you have in music again?
We sold musical instruments.
Yeah, musical.
Oh.
It was
and
like
we watched
a
like one
party
Netflix
year,
and chill.
really.
And we still got the
we
mirror
watched that documentary on Facebook.
Yeah. We could buy something of Neon and No Qualls if they have it.
I honestly thought that was what you were initially referencing with the musical instruments, and it's like, what? And it's like, oh no, you sold those entertainment goods.
But we do need, if they actually we need to find out if they still have the bugs. If they don't have the bugs, where did they take it? Who did they give it to? Once we get there, I think we need to make some sort of plan. Or we just banana.
No, we want to go in with some tact first.
We should try something new.
Which one of us knows the most about music? I mean, I know nothing about music. It's, if we're going to go in there simming genuine, you're not going to want me standing there going, I'd like a long play album about the screams of my enemies, and have you got that on vinyl kind of thing? We've got to repair it proper.
Well, I do have a new spell that might work. Perhaps if we all looked like we were in a band. Maybe in another parallel universe, we are in a band. Who knows?
But that's annoying, because I was going to pick up a weapon fusion that glamoured my sword, and I could have made it look like a double bass. That would have worked so well.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Well, shall we just do what we normally do and make it up on the spot?
I mean, we could.
You go in with the plan that we're going to act as musical perusers with an interest with Eva's magic, and we'll look like some cool space band, and we'll see what we can learn, and maybe we can get some information before we put the screws to him, and everything goes banana.
Do we case the joint, or do we just go in?
Well, if he's not there, then we can case the joint. Because I
We
actually don't know
learn-
whether we're gonna end up there before him or after him.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because this happened like a few days ago. Is that right?
A couple of days ago, yeah.
He was getting the stagecoach bus when he back to his planet. Day.
Mega space bus. Yeah, can we learn anything about the sonic futures on the space webs?
Give me a computers check.
Here we go. It's a 15 from Flimsy.
Yeah, go for it.
You don't manage to find out anything. They just, they're listed under musical instrument sellers, but nothing particular.
Help them with some of their marketing, maybe as well once we get there.
Maybe we could check the transit schedules, see if the ship's arrived yet. Or...
Oh, because we knew the ship, right? What did we? Because we were talking about stopping it at one point. We knew which ship was coming in. That'd be a good thing if we can check that out.
You looked into that, and it seemed, did you find out which ship?
Can you keep schedules in the drift? Like, can you say, oh, we'll be leaving on Wednesday and we'll arrive on Friday if it's random every time?
You can't keep a schedule on arrival time, but you can keep a schedule on departure time.
Yeah. So it's not going to do as much information then, is it, to work out when they're going to arrive? We just know it's in the window.
Well, you don't know when they're going to arrive. You'll know, to a certain degree, if you get there and you ask around, you'll know if it's arrived. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Most public transport really. Standing looking confused. Well, it's meant to be here, but it's not here.
Solid public transport burn.
You'd think that by the times that they're traveling around space, they would have got that figured out.
Cool.
Creef was just sat there laughing about our inferior public transit system here in England.
I think the best thing to do is go to Cascari and, just like Jahir said, wing it.
Well, you're on your way.
Because we're already on our way, so that wasn't the plan.
It's worked for us so
Is it
far.
empty?
We've been through a lot together, and it's gotten us this far. You seem very, I don't want to say maybe excited, Yiva, about this mission. You were very down about, well, maybe not down, but worried about the last job, which was much more my speed, I guess. But I was surprised to hear that this, well, not quite a hit job, maybe a bounty job, was something you were excited about.
It feels a lot more official. That it's out of the norm of what we normally do. This time we are not being hired as transport to carry thing from place to place. This time we are being hired for our skills, and we are the product essentially.
And there's a lot of potential behind it of being a big success if we can pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just realized when I asked that I wasn't sure whether it was Creepy that I was excited or Yiva was excited.
It was.
As soon as I asked it, I was like, actually, wait, was that Creepy or Yiva?
Yeah.
Sorry. Mixing up my realities.
And that's every day for you, man.
Yeah, you're flying with the witch warper. The realities are just fractured.
What's real anymore? Nobody knows.
A nihilistic pilot is possibly not your best.
Is it worth doing any more training before we arrive on the on the hack, if that's the right phrase.
We've got 4 days. Let's do crash courses on playing instruments.
I mean, if you wanted to go with that, well, the thing is, you could work on it's like 4 days on a disguise, that kind of thing, or a cover story at least.
Do we need to make an album and get it out there real quick?
No, we could be, we could be indie. Is indie still used in space?
You can be a indie, lesser known. You've had a couple of good tours here, there. You're looking to broaden your horizons and maybe discover your new sound, that kind of shizzle.
What he said.
I can try and make us some fictional presence on the space web if you want. Or should we just try and keep it more casual than that?
Just to set up a page on Facebook, doctor the date and set up spend a few credits buying bots to subscribe to the page.
Oh, this one asks me if I want to be famous. Hold on, let me give me a second.
It's an in-joke for anybody who streams on Twitch. So yeah, are you doing anything for the 4 days?
The only thing I would recommend, the only thing I could suggest is coordinate, where we train up to 6 creatures for multiple days, and each, so we can gain a bonus when we help each other. But each consecutive day that you spend coordinating, you increase the DC of sense motive checks to discern secret messages passed between us.
It's cool. That sounds really useful for what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no check on that; it just happens, doesn't it? It just
Yep.
And the creatures, does that include the defrags?
And exit.
Exit, yeah, it's all 6.
all right. Does Exit or Mrs. Spuds understand common?
I don't know. It doesn't technically exist in my character sheet at the moment. So.
I think Exit understands common. It just can't speak common.
Does it have an intelligence score of higher than 3?
Let's find out.
Do you need a voice to be able to communicate to each other in the Starfinder world? Yeah. Not everyone has a mouth.
Getting deep now.
I mean, usually it's reliant on telepathy and or some form of communication. The Valaka, for those that are mute, rely on sign language. Exit just contorts himself into a speech bubble with text.
It doesn't actually give me an int score for Exit, so who knows?
I'm gonna go with no. The pets don't understand and can't coordinate. And pass.
Mama D's got 2 settings. She's got kill or cute, and that's it.
I will have you know, ominous voice in the sky, that Exit coordinates with my outfits splendidly.
Indeed. So, 4 days pass, and you arrive in orbit around a pretty much water world, as it were. There is a landmass. It's solitary continent, in the shape of a crescent moon to a certain degree.
I saw it as a giant claw. Much more negative perception from Flimsy.
I mean, I do also think, speaking geologically speaking, it's probably an impact crater coming from the north towards the south, and it just forced up that mountain range.
That planet's is a giant crab. I know it. It's a giant crab.
It's always a giant crab with you.
It always is giant crabs or space worms or something.
And yes, you've arrived in their airspace.
Let's hail closest port to
Giscari Command.
Giscari Command.
Yeah.
They don't go by Gascari command, but it's like, hello. Wave and greet you.
Hello, hello. This is the crew of the Fool's Gold requesting landing. Please, thank you.
Please proceed to docking bay 24.
Sweet, thanks.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No,
We love
The
you.
purpose of your journey, maybe.
I don't know. We're here to buy stuff. We're merchants.
Trade.
We're here to sell stuff. We've got trade goods, food, and other bits.
Food.
One giant eggplant.
Egg. Okay. I'm not entirely sure how much use one giant eggplant will be to feed millions, but okay.
Not seen the size of this eggplant.
Yeah. Spell perspective.
I wonder how many people you could feed with a 50-ton eggplant.
It's always 50 tons.
We always win the county fairs, at least.
All right, so bring it on in.
It's my tricks. Fly casual.
These people never seem to enjoy their jobs, do they? They're just an observation. Every planet we go to, they either want to murder us or want to know why we're there.
What is
They're
this
like,
fly
"Hi,
casually?
come on in."
They're usually very bored. How many ships do you think come to this planet in a week? They're paid.
6.
So if 6 ships came in the entire week for an 8-hour shift, you might be there for over the course of the week. You'll be there for like 2 of the arrivals. And the other 8 hours of the day, you're just bored out of your mind watching the airspace.
This is where we should have brought the entertainment goods to. Have we got some video games for you?
They've got a music shop. I don't know how big the demand's gonna be.
But yes, you come into land, docking bay 24, no particular issues, no particular... when you were flying around the VESC systems, it was a very distinct and strong military presence anytime that you got onto air traffic control. They were very much so like, go here, do not deviate, you will be shot down. And they had the military turret system to back it up if you did deviate. In this place, you're kindly asked to land on docking bay 24, and you don't see much in the way of signs of armament. That's not to say that it doesn't exist, they're just not making an overt show of it if it exists.
Lindsay will head down the ramp with the obligatory papers, looking for the person to give it to that's been in every port we've been to so far. To find this one is the first time that like no one's come here to impound the ship or whatever it is they want to do every time.
You do see some sort of like ground crew sort of like milling around, just patrolling the area, as it were.
A wave.
While we're unloading the ship, I think I'm gonna cast Charming Veneer and meander the port a little bit and spend like 10 minutes gathering information about Sonic Futures.
Nice.
If that's okay.
Yep. Make me a diplomacy check.
Come on. 25.
Sonic Futures is a shop. It's not too far from the city center. It's not prime real estate by any means, but it's not on the sort of like outskirts either. It's a high-tech music. It's a shop that specializes in high-tech musical instruments. So rather than your classical string instruments, it's mainly synthesis and exotic instruments from around space. It's got pretty good reputation. Doesn't really, it doesn't stand out, but it doesn't really cause too much of a trouble. You get directions there. It's a simple storefront, few buildings around, 2-story. Upstairs looks to be an apartment. Maybe where the owner resides. Don't know.
I asked the person, is it a Vesk?
Yes.
I asked the Vesk, if do they know anything about the owner?
Not really. It's not really my scene. I just know that it's there.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So I think if we disguise ourselves as people who want cutting-edge musical instruments, we could definitely get them on our wavelengths.
I mean, yeah, does the shop even look open?
I mean, you've not gone to the shop yet.
Mm.
You mentioned something about unloading the ship. What are you loading it? Where? What are you unloading it from, and what are you loading it into?
Yeah, until we've got somewhere to sell this stuff, we probably don't need to unload it, right? So we've got a buyer. Because we're not actually here to buy anything, so we don't really need to unload that rapidly. Although it's fresh food,
we
so we
can't
do
buy
that.
things while we're here.
I figured we'd want to sell it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And while that's all being handled, do some light recon.
Could we task Zobin with finding a buyer? Or surely he'd know where to look for supplies and selling and buying.
I mean, he
Skimble to him.
buys in small quantities. He generally shops and stocks up his cart in the local supermarket, not wholesale goods.
Speaking about quantities, I don't know if I'd have to ask either about this when they got back, or whether you would know. Does it look like somewhere that this futures place? Does it seem like somewhere that would, from what they've heard, trade in the tonnage of equipment or the odd instrument? If that makes sense.
I don't get that feeling. It seems it's more like on a one-to-one basis.
That's what it sounded like. Just wanted to make sure. So yeah, I guess Flimsy. I can go and make a start and see if I can get somewhere to unload these while they're still fresh. If you guys want to maybe scout the location itself, perhaps.
I think that would be wise.
Can Flimsy flag down one of the dock hands, spaceport hands, one of the crew?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Can you just settle a bet for me? We had a race with another ship. I wanted to know whether or not I beat a friend of mine here. Do you know if the name of ship has arrived?
You'd have to check with the quartermaster. They generally know, but not the quartermaster, the dockmaster.
Oh.
They generally know who's come and who's gone. Can't say they've landed anywhere around here.
Cool. I'll go ask them then. Thank you very much. Can Flimsy go and ask that person?
Yeah. You're locking up a ship and walking towards the exit to get into the city proper, as it were. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you approach sort of like the it's probably a little outbuilding, sort of like a little more than sort of like 2 to 3 offices, bathroom, that kind of thing, at the edge of what is essentially a giant car park. and yeah, there's a Vesk woman sort of like manning the sort of like computer there.
They look to be the dockmaster.
You'd have to ask them.
As one master to another, quartermaster recognize the dockmaster.
Make me a perception check.
No, it's only a 13.
They look important enough to have an office.
Hello there. We've been directed to yourself. I was looking to try and maybe settle a bet. You don't happen to be the dockmaster, would you?
I'm the dockmaster.
I've been having a race with a friend of mine to try and get here to this planet and trying to get there before they did. I wondered if you could tell me if their ships arrived.
I'm afraid it's, confidentiality to a certain extent. Maybe you're up to no good.
Well, you don't have to tell me whether or not the individuals arrived. I'm not looking for anything personal, just whether or not the ship is docked.
I'm afraid that's confidential information just in itself.
Not where it's docked. Is it docked?
Yeah, like a bus has arrived does not feel like confidential information. Is are they trying to fleece me or something? Or
Remember, we're not in the Veskarium.
Yeah.
Just bribe her.
That's what I guess it would be a sense motive to know whether that was the situation.
You can roll me a sense motive.
Okay. It's 30. I'm still 2 weeks now, not rolled higher than an 8, I think.
Just a 3, a 6, and a 5. Jeez. You're rolling like me, which is not a good position for you guys to be in. You get the feeling that they could be bribed, but you don't know how rich their tastes are going to be.
Okay. Maybe confer with you. How much do we want to know this information? Because it's fairly important, like away from the person who's saying this, by the way. It's fairly important that we know if they're here, I guess.
50 credits?
Sounds good. Or we could maybe see if they've interested in any of the supplies we've got, perhaps. No?
You got fruit and veg. How desperate would you have to be?
Tons
On a
of it.
world where food is incredibly valuable? Like, I feel like that.
It's not incredibly valuable. It's just there's
okay.
limited. They're the Japan of the world. If they survive on rice and fish,
Okay.
because that's all they have access to. You bring in, sort of like meats and other root vegetables, and they'll lap it up. But at the same token, they're not starving.
Okay. So yeah, probably return. And the wager that I had is for it's more for honor than it is for credits. But maybe I could see if there's any way you'd be interested in maybe giving us that information, since you and me, we know each other. There's no impropriety here, and maybe slide a 20 credit chip on the desk. I don't.
Make me a diplomacy.
Okay. It's a 19. It's a 6 on the dice.
You do realize that you're supposed to be rolling a d20, right?
D10's fine.
D6 is all you've managed.
That's true, actually.
You're rather new to this, aren't you? And they go and reach over for that cred stick.
I'm indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't try that in a lot of places, especially places where you're supposed to be bribing to get in. But no, that ship, it hasn't arrived yet.
Oh, well, I thank you for your honesty and helping me out. I will maybe reconsider my tactics in future.
Here,
Mhm.
go in the shop.
Good luck, guys. Good news, guys. We won. Head back to the group.
You have a nice day now.
Of course we won best pilot in the freaking galaxy, dude.
Do you want me to go and get your 20 creds back? Or?
Oh no, it's all right. We've business expense. I'll put it down on the taxes.
Well, that gives us time
Supplementary
to,
costs.
It gives us time to sell the cargo we've got, and scope out the place. Maybe break in.
If they're not open.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language.
If they live above the shop, I can't imagine. I mean, they may have an employee, but again, I get the feeling at least this is a small shop. Perhaps there's an employee who's running it while they're away, but I guess we won't know until we see.
Sounds like a plan.
Rightio, so who's going where? Because we've got sell the goods and scout the shop.
Flimsy will go and sell the goods.
Brix's team scout the shop.
I want to go with Trix.
Yeah, I can't imagine you would need much of a crew to go and sell the goods. But
I mean, Flimsy does most of the negotiating anyway. It's just, it's more, where is everybody? I want to keep track of people. So, Gavi, you're going with
Trix?
Trix and Jahir?
Yeah, I'll go with him as well. As long as Flimsy's got his mining laser, I think he'll be all right.
Never go trading without it. Pat it on the side.
And the ship is thankful for that.
You do, as you're sort of like walking around, nobody's accosting you for having weapons, but you're not seeing, the last couple of weeks it's been in the Veskarium where just about every civilian, military or not, has had some kind of firearm strapped to their waist. Some of the people who prefer bigger guns, it's strapped to their back. Here, you guys, if you're packing weaponry that is obvious, Jahir, then you're standing out a little bit.
2 massive long swords and a rail cannon. Oh, and a battle glove as well.
The battle
glove's fine.
Yeah, the battle glove isn't really noticeable, comparatively anyway.
Just whipping it in the streets.
And so yes, Trix's team, you arrive outside of a shop. It's stylized letters read Sonic Future above the store in a very sort of like neon glow 80s style font. That's the word I was after, font. It's a fairly quiet street, although, there's people walking around, but nothing, it's not crowded.
Is it open?
Looks to be shuttered.
Perfect. Is there an alley, like a back door, maybe? Or a door to get upstairs from outside?
Yeah, there's like a series of stairs on the outside of the building to go up into what you assume is apartment above. There's that's sort of like round the side. There is a back alley as well.
Does it look like any of the surrounding buildings have security cameras that might catch this one in view?
Make me a perception check.
I wish I bought like some sunglasses and like a trench coat.
You have certain disguises. Perception. I was hovering over sense motive then, like that's not right. Hey, I rolled a 6 on my D6 for 17.
You people stop rolling d6s for these
No.
things. Yeah, you get the sense that there's going to be some security cameras. They're going to catch probably all sides of this building. You're not sure how fancy those cameras are. There doesn't seem to be, a heavy police presence, or they're not exactly the highest of tech when it comes to the cameras.
I'd still like to try and find them and maybe be able to screw with them a little bit.
Mainly, if you're wanting to do that, you're going to want to pick an entry point.
Yeah. So can we have a nosy round the building to try and find the best entry point? Either is it like a window that's not on the street, or is there a side door?
Like the upstairs apartment door, is there a camera centered on that as well? You said all sides of the building, right?
There's all sides of the building. So you've got the front of the building, south side. You got double door shut up over that. To the western of this west side of the south door, it's basically shuttered windows that go all the way up to the corner and down the western side. On the eastern side from the south door, that is just a brick wall. There is a side alley where you can see you've got like two smaller windows, not meant as a shop display kind of thing. And around the back, there doesn't seem to be a door on the lower floor. Upstairs, there's stairways on the eastern side that go up to the apartment door. There's windows around the apartment, but scaling up there might be tricky. Trix sees a couple of cameras, basically one pointing at each side of the building, just in a generalized covering. You're not even sure, but some of them may be even owned by the city. Some of them look to be private cameras.
Shit.
Why don't we just maybe sit and wait? There must be a cafe around here where we can keep an eye on things and just see who comes and goes, maybe? We've obviously beaten them here, so unless they've got some kind of weird secret entrance we don't know about, we're going to see someone coming in.
Yeah, but you don't know. Trix will be able to tell you. It's like you got here in 4 days. They could be anywhere between, taking off 2 for how much of a head start they got. They could be anywhere between a day out to, nigh on 2 weeks.
What time of day is it? Because that would play into how busy the street is.
I'm thinking it's about mid-afternoon.
I'm tempted to just try the upstairs apartment door, go in. There's no way that they're constantly watching if it's CCTV. The only reason they're gonna see us going in is if it's reported that there was a break-in. It's a risk, but how often do you think they're checking these cameras?
She's smart enough to go and take this kind of level of killing weapon from a base on a different planet. I don't want to underestimate her.
I mean, this guy wasn't smart. He you know what? No, they YOLO'd on the cameras. I'm gonna YOLO on their cameras.
All right, YOLO it is.
So you're going up to the upstairs apartment.
I'd like to see how a bioterrorist lives.
All right, Trix, are you taking point?
Yes, I want to be able to check that the door doesn't have any alarms on it. First
All
off.
right. Okay, make me a perception check.
Come on, higher than a 6.
Numbers.
23.
Hey, double digits on the dice. 23.
Yes.
You do see it's got an alarm system. Not overly complicated. You've busted past this like 100 times before. Quick engineering check will probably get you past that. Probably. You'd also need to bust lock. That's either going to be a brute strength or another mechanics check. Engineering check, sorry. To try and break that open. Doesn't seem to be any other electronic countermeasures. But yeah, that's the door.
I have a toolkit to help with this one.
The toolkit to help with
breaking into
Does that say
breaking
that
in
whether
through
it,
doors.
does it help with the alarm on the door?
It might not know, but we'll be fine.
All right, you'll be fine. Roll me. And so tell me what you're taking care of and then roll.
First off, I'm going to be taking care of the alarm with an engineering check, was it?
Yep.
Or computers?
Engineering.
26.
Yeah, like I say, you've broken in past this kind of lock many times. Past this alarm many times before. It's a simple case of just sticking metal plate on the contact and then jimmying it. Shimmying.
I like shimmying.
But that's not usually something you do with a lock. That's something you do in the dance floor. All right, and then we'll try to open the door with another engineering check. This will give you your +4.
Yes. 29.
Dang. And yeah, it is not a complicated lock for a terrorist who has just been on another planet stealing some fairly high security and volatile, dangerous stuff. You'd think that they'd have slightly better security than this. It's a little more than something that you could buy down at Home Improvements. But with that, you believe you can open the door without repercussions.
And so I do.
You open it up. It's a bit of an open plan apartment. There's a small room off to one side. You assume to be the bathroom. But other than that, you see a bed, sofa, TV, kitchenette area, that kind of stuff. No signs of life at this time, which is expected. Owner isn't home. And yeah.
What's the deco like?
Minimalistic, but not downtrodden. It's, thinking of a way of putting it would be bland.
Bland.
But well kept.
Huh.
I'm gonna usher Jahir and Eva in and then shut the door.
What with you on the outside?
Yeah, you guys deal with it now.
All right, let's look around. Find a computer or like secret notes that maybe they're passing with, I don't know, the Resistance. Do we have a name for the group that Oathbreaker runs?
Oathbreakers.
The butcher.
You have absolutely no information on Oathbreaker whatsoever other than the name.
Oh, great. So Yeva will definitely start like looking around. I think you mentioned a bed. She's gonna look under the bed and under the mattress.
Okay, make me perception checks.
Just Yeva?
11 for the
11. For the bed around, you even open up to like a dresser. Doesn't seem to be much of interest in that area. You got the bathroom, the kitchenette, and the living room areas, as it were.
I'll check the living room.
All right, make me a perception check.
24.
Nice. So yeah, you look around, you feel down the side of the couch. You found a couple of UPBs, let's say 5 of them.
Yeah, bingo.
But nothing particularly of interest in the living room area. Just so like average things. A magazine. It's talking about musical instruments and the like. You give it a ruffle. No secret diary pages or post-it notes fall out. Yeah, it's about it. Jahir. Bathroom, kitchen.
Jahir's going to try the bathroom. Maybe some vents and some kind of gratings or anything like that.
Yep. Make me a perception check.
Yep. Is a 5 for a 10.
Yeah, you don't really find much of interest. But the only thing that you can say is that they use the same shampoo as Flimsy.
Hey, take that for me.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's weird.
Sentimental value.
But other than that, you don't find anything of particular interest in the bathroom.
All right, let's go through the kitchen, I guess.
Yep.
It's the last spot.
All right. Do you want to make a perception check in the kitchen?
5.
Yeah, but you're not looking. Open the drawers.
Oh, right. She's like, opens the drawer, shuts it instantly. Nothing there.
Yeah. So you give it a quick peruse. You don't find much of interest. However, by sheer bloody determination, you also like huddle in the middle of the room, and it's like there's got to be something of personal note and value here.
Right. It looks
You've
like
just gotta find it.
It looks like almost like a hotel room. Like nobody really lives here.
At that point, you're probably going to be spending half an hour just combing the place. Every nook and cranny, you're turning over the mattress. You looked, but now you're physically manhandling and turning over the mattress. And eventually, you do find in the kitchen one of the drawers. It's got a you slide it out and then you unhook it from the rollers and pull it out, and there's a fake back to the drawer. And in there you find a laser pistol and a data pad.
Data pad. Let's take this back.
You want to take it, or you want to look at it here?
Can we copy it like we did with the Richard and Sue?
You got the tools on you?
I'm
Flint
not.
is the guy with all the tools for
That's
that
the
kind of thing.
It's
Well, maybe we could put it
flimsy,
back
like
when we finish.
merrily perusing the market stalls.
I say we
oh,
take it.
hello there.
Carrying around a massive eggplant.
And what state are you leaving the apartment in? You to find this, you've had to pretty much tear the place apart.
Tidy up, tidy up.
Okay, quick.
You say quick, it's a good 10 minutes for you to put this place back into order with how much you've had to trash it. Are you locking the door on your way out?
Yes.
Make me another engineering check.
It's probably too much to reset the alarm, isn't it?
No, you're just jimming the piece of metal back out.
I would like to do that as well once the door is locked. Oh, it was so close to a 20. That's a 9.
All right, the door is locked.
And can I try to reset the alarm?
Reset the alarm,
There we go, 25.
and the alarm is back in place.
Okay.
Let's hope you don't need to go back in there. And do you leg it, or do you calmly make your way
Casually,
casually?
nonchalantly.
And Trix, you just yelled leg it.
Yeah, I did, but Trix can run anyway.
All right. So, Flimsy.
Ooh.
Give me a quartermaster trade roll.
That's a trade roll. Here we go. Can I re-roll that? Is that a
You
natural
can
one?
indeed re-roll the natural one.
Good Lord.
During the break, we tried to get rid of the dice cast by rolling a lot of d20s all at once. Hey, double figures.
The 20 from Flimsy.
You find a couple of interested buyers. They're willing to take the entirety of your cargo off you. Outside of food sales, well. So they're not really too interested in arguing about the price that you give them too much. You've got to feel that they're willing to accept a reasonable price.
Do I feel that, say, 5 BPs would be a reasonable price?
5 or 5 in profit.
Oh, because we've actually bought these, haven't we? That's true.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
it was 5 BP to buy it.
it was 5 BP to buy. Well, I see. Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe try. What did we get on the last time? Was it like 25% more? So probably try for 7. See how they do.
Because really, we just need a break even. Where it's not our. It'd be nice to have more, but
It'd be suspicious to not try, though.
But yeah, if you want to try to negotiate a higher price, you're more than welcome to try. But I'll settle for 7 if you're not willing to push it.
Oh no, I think 7 sounds good to us. We've been told that you're a very good trade here, and we're happy to make some inroads. If there's any suggestions you've got of any exports your fine world would have? Some sort of large fish exports, I imagine, or maybe krill or something along those lines. It's our first time here.
Problem with fish is it doesn't tend to keep too well.
We need a cargo hold full of salt, perhaps, maybe first to get it done.
I mean, you can buy fish jerky, that keeps fairly well, but it's kind of a local delicacy. Not entirely sure how many places would enjoy that over fresh fish.
Well,
I suppose
yeah,
you could sell it to some moon somewhere where they don't actually have oceans and water.
is water a valuable tradable item?
Only if you're going to a moon without water.
That's fair enough. But yeah.
But if you're going to a moon without water, they'd also probably take the fish jerky.
We'll see where our next destination takes us, and I'll see if I can maybe come to you if you've got any good trades that might be able to get us both a profit off world.
So when can we expect delivery?
Oh, we'll get that to you. Well, it's fresh food, so we'll get it to you as soon as we can. What? Do you have any staff on hand? Maybe that might be able to speed up the process.
Not that I can spare, I'm afraid.
How about by sometime this evening?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Well, that sounds good to me. We'll get it to you as soon as we can. Have you got it dropped off here?
Yeah, just deliver it around the back. We've got a warehouse.
Yeah, very well. We'll head over and check it out.
All right. Pleasure doing business with you.
Indeed. Better go find those others.
So yeah, you've been wandering around a little while. So like trying to get a feel for the place. It feels more like a very much self-sufficient colony, and they're trying to strive for self-sufficiency. They don't really have much that they're exporting at this time. They've got some degree of industry, but no real specialization on what the goods are manufactured for. Most of it is going into construction to expand, so that they can welcome more renunciants from the Vesk Dominion.
They're sorting themselves out before trying to get into any kind of large player on the galactic scale, kind of.
Yeah, their other concern to a certain degree, if they make themselves too much of a prime real estate, is the Vesk are going to come here.
That's true.
They are looking to get Pact World's protectorate status, but that hasn't really happened. Them mainly banking on the security of the church. Other followers of Waden would be willing to fight for their cause if the Vesk were going to turn up, but that could potentially have political ramifications, which they kind of prefer to avoid, not without being a Pact World protectorate at least.
Were there priests and stuff preaching in the street, or does it seem that everybody's just kind of already on board, I guess? There's not really that much away of travelers.
Yeah, there's not really much preaching going on. It's pretty much like any other town, city that you've been in. It's just a majority of the people here are followers of Waden by circumstance more than anything else. Much like most of the Vesk that you were seeing in the Veskarium were of the Maratosh. They don't go around preaching this, but it's a safe enough bet that a Vesk is going to be a follower of Demaratosh.
I was hoping by not arguing too much for the price and kind of would be helping with the ideals of Waden. Which Flimsy would know. Flimsy wouldn't get that wrong.
Yeah, but no, I totally accept that. Wayland is a completely other corporation, very much like Edge Corp. Evil.
That's quite the mix-up. But yeah, hoping that by giving what it player J Station and Flimsy thought was a fair price, rather than trying to push it too much, would be in their wheelhouse.
Yep. And so yes, you're all now free to go about delivering this stuff and, well, trying to figure out your access to this datapad.
I found a buyer, guys.
Ooh, we found a datapad.
Your
What was
favorite
it?
shampoo?
Hey, wait. That's not good. I thought it was a picture of a dwarf on the front. I've been so wrong all this time.
Let's handle the unloading, and then over dinner tonight we can examine the data pad, eh?
Sounds good. I managed to get us until this evening, so we've got a bit of time. There's no massive pressure, but I'll go get in the old cargo rig, shall I?
Best to just get it out of the way.
I mean, what are you loading it into?
I was gonna say we kind of need to go hire a vehicle.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'll need a flatbed. So.
Yeah, a flatbed or something along that lines.
We're all hands.
We
on
say
this.
we could use the defrex and a cart to move stock, or was that a no-no?
You could, but it's not going to move the entire cargo bay's worth of stuff. And you'd also either need to buy or hire a cart.
How many personal upgrades into strength do we need to pump into that defrex to get it to pull 100 tons of cargo?
You'd need at least a Mark III to get it up to, and then, try and convince it that every time that it levels up, it really wants to put it all into strength.
So yeah, I'm going to see if we can hire a local craft of some kind.
Yeah. Make me a culture check. And everybody can get in on this. Because we all know how Flimsy is rolling.
Oh, 23.
There you go.
Hey, you
You
managed
saying?
more double digits. Is that everybody?
I
Anybody
think
else want
23
in?
is good enough.
Yeah.
Be the point.
But yes, you managed to find a local franchise car hire place, as it were. They'll rent you a flatbed for 3 credits an hour.
I don't suppose there's any Waden. Is it Waden? Yeah, Waden. Immediately forgot it. Flimsy cares about gods. Is there any kind of Waden hippie style, like, I'll do a job for you, get your engines up and running smoother if you trade as a vehicle kind of business going on?
So you're offering mechanic services.
Yeah, Flimsy's worked as a mechanic in a shipyards for a while.
I mean, can't let you hire it for nothing, but I mean, we got some vehicles out back that could do with, servicing, and if you got some time, you'll be paid reasonably well for it.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind then. That sounds like a good little opportunity. What's Eva dying to say?
He was like, we've got an actual job to do. Let's just hire the cart and be done with this.
It was only if we could get it for free, but yeah, that's fine. We'll just we'll hire it as normal, and then if we need to,
She's
when we
like,
get spare time, he's
let's
gonna
get
totally
this
go through
fucking fruit off of our ship and get to hacking.
He's going to roam the docks
Hacking?
asking if anyone wants anyone murdered.
that. Cool. So how much is that going to run us all together?
Couple hours, what, 15
It's-
threads?
It's like 4 hours to load.
That's 20.
Sorry, I've got something stuck in the back of my throat, and I so badly want to cough, but it's also not for moving.
It was 3 credits an hour, so 4 hours for loading.
Couple of hours for unloading, 6 hours roughly. I mean, you can pay on when you return the vehicle.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Probably looking at
12, 15 credits, something like that.
yeah, I mean 21 at the most.
Cool.
All right, so you drive truck back to the, I want to say airport, spaceport. There we go. Flimsy gets into the cargo loader and starts hauling stuff away. Is everybody assisting with the unloading?
Yeah.
Yep.
Same procedure as every year.
The cargo lifter. Yeah. Goblin Rock playing in his headphones while he...
You think you're restricted to headphones? No, you've got a boombox mounted to the back of this thing. So you're all enjoying Goblin Rock.
Lee Grape gave me a tape. It's good.
But yeah, 4 hours, you get it loaded up. You drive back to the store, unload the cargo. It takes a couple of hours. They've got people there to assist. And so yeah, 6 hours, 3 credits an hour, 18 credits if you're returning the vehicle on you.
Sweet. Let's return it now then.
Who's picking up the bill on that one? Because I don't think we left anything in the party funds.
There's plenty of that.
Okay.
With the calculator.
All right, and so it's starting to get into early evening. By the time you get back to the ship, your cargo delivered.
All right. Zobin, have dinner ready for us. We've got work to do. Well, Flimsy does.
We eagerly push the comm unit towards Flimsy.
Is he like just sadly stepping out of the mech unit and immediately presented with this thing? Give me a moment, please. For pity's sake.
No.
Where did you find this? What is it?
It's a compad.
Is it
We
locked?
found it in the back of a drawer. We haven't touched it.
Oh. very, very well. Is it open?
It is not open. It's not charged either.
Oh,
Oh shit.
I guess we'll put it on charge for a bit.
All right.
Do we need to take like tracking precautions or anti-tracking precautions?
Is
Not
the
like
back
this,
of the
it's a-
device hot?
It's a brick. Does it seem to have any kind of tracking information? Do an engineering check maybe to see if it's any live devices on it.
Yeah, make me a engineering check.
27. Numbers
There
are-
doesn't seem to be anything mechanical extra fitted to this, but with any data pad, when you turn it on and it connects to the Wi-Fi, it's gonna ping up that it's where it's at.
Yeah, makes sense.
But no, it's nothing. There's no explicit thing tracking it. Just the standard stuff that you get in all data pads.
How long does it need to charge for?
It's only a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay, it's not like an overnight job.
3 days.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on. See, I tend to abuse technology. If my phone battery dies and I really want to use my phone, then I'll go over to the thing and charge it up as minimally as possible, turn it on, plug it back in to keep it charging, and then use it while it's charging. If you wanted to do it, a full charge, it'd be overnight. And then you can use it without it being attached to the hole in the wall, but yeah. But yeah, a couple of minutes to charge and you can turn it on.
We'll warn the crew that turning it on here might ping out our location, but I mean, you got in and out with any particular worry? Any concerns about activating it here?
Only if he's in port.
Got it on fairly good authority that he doesn't yet import. Sorry,
Well, that was several hours ago, though.
That's very true. We could wander over to the place and turn it on there. I don't know if you guys have managed to find any secure location in the area. Safe cafe of some kind, perhaps.
Like Trick said earlier, this person did not even think about the security cameras catching them in the act, I do not think that they are necessarily going to even think about tracking this device until they get home and see that it's missing.
Well,
But even then, they need it's dead. It needs charging. Or, when they left it, it would have been dead.
if they immediately check the secret drawer behind the drawer.
Exactly.
Like,
So let's just do
Boot
it
it up.
here.
There we go. Press and hold the on button long enough for it to turn on.
Yeah, it comes on and it has a password lockout.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna try and crack the password, I guess.
All right, give me your computers check.
It's a 30 from Flimsy.
It's not really that much of a concern for you, Flimsy. You sort of like lift it up to the light, and it's like, yep, they're the keys. And then you look at the keys which have been pressed, and it's like, yep, that's a password. It's not even, got any alphanumeric substitution in there. It's just one word, faith.
Ooh.
And it opens up. There's a calendar, there's shop stock inventory, couple of notepads, and maybe a game. Yeah, a game.
Anything in the calendar for a return date?
There isn't, as you're well aware. They basically left Gascar 3 to Vesk and then back again. It's like it could have been like 6-day round trip. It could have been 32-day round trip.
What about contacts, emails?
Let's have a look.
Yeah, you look at the contact system and it seems to be fairly bereft of contacts, but make me a culture check.
Both of us, or just Flimsy?
I mean, whoever's looking at the contact list.
You wanted to look, Eva. I can assist if you want to do the check.
15.
+2.
So 17 total. Most of them seem to be business associates, or there's a couple of people that don't seem to be attached to a business, but they could be friends, family, somebody. There's nobody who's listed as Oathbreaker.
Right.
And is there anything in the? You said there was a few notes in there.
Yeah, there's one note that is just sort of like detailing their. It's kind of like a diary, where they're just sort of like keeping tracking of the comings, goings, sort of like little notes to themselves about what could be interesting to sell in the store. The other is more of a it's not religious text, but it's more them sort of like thinking and writing about their thoughts on religion. Make me a investigation.
Ooh.
Oh, what if it's cold?
Oh, perception.
Is that the best that we've got in this system?
I think so. Yeah. Look really hard at the data pad.
Yeah, look really hard at the data pad and give me a notice. I'm trying to. Is that literally the best that we've got? I mean, I could go for a computers, I suppose, but that just seems weirder than an investigation.
Computers would be 26, I think.
Yeah, it's more so like skim reading through this and trying to pick out anything of interest. But it's not like you're perceiving and reading it, and it's not really a computer's because it's comprehension of what's written there, not. I mean, I suppose it might fall under a sense motive, but anyway, we'll take the 21 for the perception.
Sense motive is 22. If that's any use.
That's the thing. It's like they're all much of a muchness unless I ask you for one of your speciality skills, in which case, that'd be a 30. They've, like many people here, they're a believer in Waden. They've attended some sermons and congregations not too long ago, comparatively speaking. The dates are like a few months ago, where they've met a new individual who has recently moved to Gascari, something of a doctor who is looking at trying to investigate various things in terms of inoculation, vaccination, that kind of thing. It then goes on to say, that Jask has offered to help them out in any way that they can. And the requests have, initially it was just for pieces of equipment that they could get through their contacts. Then it started to evolve into something a little bit more. They wanted materials. They wanted samples that couldn't be found here on Gascar. One of the samples is the Xenopedes marked for destruction.
Do we get the sense that the doctor is angling of this through faith? As in, wait, this would be beneficial for Wayun? Damn it, Wayun.
Waden.
Damn it.
Dan.
But yeah, they're using Waden as a backing to these kind of requests, if that makes sense.
Maybe a sense motive.
Ooh, natural 20 for 28.
Mm-hmm.
You do get the feeling that they're using a common cause in faith as a way to reach Jessic.
I would guess this doctor is manipulating Jessic.
And I still don't think it's Oathbreaker.
Whoever it is, they must have found out that Jessic had the connections and then I guess sent the squad after Jessic's planned thievery.
Yeah, as a cleanup crew.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I'm more worried for maybe Jask's in danger now, perhaps. If these missions sometimes go, if once the person's been used, they could be in danger.
Well, I guess we won't know until they arrive. But I think it might be best for us to what is it called when people sit and watch and stake out this
stake out.
Just if anyone comes, but specifically so that we don't miss Jessic when they arrive back on planet.
Sounds like a very good plan.
Is there any mention of the squad specifically, like in their communications, or
No, there's nothing in there about the second event at the Dye Works.
And what about the tone of the person's replies to the doctor?
This is more of the doctor's musing, not the doctor's,
Alright.
the Jassek's musings. It's not a communique log.
Right. Okay. So.
I wish we had better idea of when name of that ship was arriving.
It seems
Sure.
unconscionable to run a galaxy this way. Schedules impossible to keep.
But that's trade-off of using drift, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You
There
go
are
slower.
slightly more reliable ways of getting around. They just usually involve going to the planes of the hell, the abyss, the chaos. They're more reliable ways of getting around, but you know,
Less
in terms of timing.
What about public transport again?
I mean, the other thing is like, if he's started going to sermons, you'd think they'd be kind of close to his shop. So the other thing to check out is where potentially these religious happenings are happening near Sonic Future. And
It's a good plan. Have a listen ourselves and see if there's any figures that stand out, or
The main difficulty there, even though, you know, the predominant religion here is Wade. You know, you do a quick search in the local area, and you know, within like a 2-mile radius of the shop, there's like 4 temples to Wade and 1 to Desna, or shrine. You know, not all temple sized, but shrines and so like congregations and the rest of it.
somewhere Jask could have gone for this.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's only if they stayed within a 2-mile radius. They could be somebody who likes to go to the main temple, you know, once a week and meet people there, which is like a bit further away, but a much larger congregation, or any number of shrines, churches, and temples between here and there. It's needle in a haystack kind of thing.
Did you check the shop for any
no, we didn't
anything you might
rent
have
out
squirreled away, or
the shop is a place we didn't go because it was a bit too obvious.
oh right.
No
We can-
tricks.
We can either keep Dixie on the place for a while and see if our man Jask shows up, and then otherwise we could go to, if there's no luck, we could maybe try poking our nose around the shop and seeing if there's any more evidence of maybe where they've gotten to or where they might be at the moment. It'd be good to get them access to them alive, though, if possible. If they seem to be, if they can point the finger at who this doctor is, that's our best lead.
Absolutely. I would guess that Jasik thinks that they're doing something good, and you know, if they are, cool. But sorry, Trix. I'm working under the assumption now that this doctor is either Oathbreaker herself or someone who works with Oathbreaker, and I think that they are the ones who are responsible for this. So they are the ones we must find and bring back alive.
I mean, that's fair.
Well, I do not mind volunteering for first shift on stakeout.
I think it'd be less. Maybe we could do it in pairs, so it's a little bit less conspicuous.
The problem with pairs, it'd be 12-hour shifts.
Oh right, okay. We probably shouldn't do it in pairs, even though it'd be less conspicuous.
If you don't get the fool's gold sensors to look for the ship. we must see it approach or anything like that?
Oh, so rather than watching the shop, watch for the ship.
Well, if we know they're on it.
That
Good plan. Yeah.
is really smart.
You know, that might be a better idea. And yeah, when you were saying use the ship, and it's what? To look at the store? No, you can't do that. And it's like,
just hover over the shop.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit weird to be parked and having your sensors active, but nothing's stopping you from keeping them active.
We could be running a sensor sweep or a calibration, or
We've got a little bit of a cover as well, in that we've already mentioned a few times that we were racing this ship there, and we'd be looking for them to arrive. There's not, if anyone thinks about it in entirety, there's at least a thread of reasonable explanation there. Exactly.
But yeah, it's an option. It would require somebody, so like every 5 minutes, keeping the sensor active and checking, as it were. But no, that'll see just about everything coming in and going out.
Literally just 6 hours of sitting there and moving the mouse every 5 minutes. That's fine. I do that.
Well,
surely technology's evolved enough to recognise transponders or drive signatures or anything like
yes,
that.
but somebody didn't want to install an AI on the ship.
We've already got a holodeck. We can't have an AI as well. It's courting disaster.
You could have had an AI, you could have a VI, you could have had, you could have kept the goblins around and saying, when you see this number show up on this, give us a shout. But no, you didn't want to keep the goblins either.
There's a portal back there into another dimension that I only know about 2/3 how it's working. So I don't want to start adding too many crazy things going on.
I mean, it's simple. Flimsy just needs to set up a small counterbalance device that clicks an inconsequential button every second or so.
Yes, but no, it's not that difficult to keep the sensors on. It's noticing the ship arrive.
Surely we can. This is going to be trying to bypass a lot of stuff here, but surely we can just set up a thing that, like, when the lucidity, we've remembered the name of it. Thanks, GM. Arrives, we get a ping on the old comm system.
You can make a computer's check to write a program to do that.
Cool. I'll give it a go.
Give it a go.
I'll go and stand at the sign with a gate saying, whatever your name is.
Limo for Jazz. 21 from Flimsy.
Okay. You write a program. You write a program that you hope will be paying attention to the sensors, looking at the transponders, flagging them up, and if it matches one of the transponder codes that you've entered, that it will ping you on your personal comms.
If we've got nothing else to do, Flimsy probably will stick by the scanners to keep an eye on them from time to time, but depends on what else we're doing.
It depends on what else you want to do. You've essentially got anywhere between a day and 20, I think.
We don't know.
No, it
Time
wouldn't be.
has no
It wouldn't be
meaning.
20. It'd be maximum at the moment is 12 days.
Right.
Minimum has already passed, so it's like it could arrive any minute now, or it could arrive in another 12 days. What are you guys doing? Or are you all just sort of like lounging around the ship and, just waiting for that ping to come in that the lucidity's arrived?
I would like to stalk the shop, not waiting for him to arrive, but seeing if anyone else is also stalking the shop.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll join you on that.
Right, yeah.
Or
Make me
take turns with you at least.
perception checks.
17.
17 off that roll still pretty good.
I mean, that was a piloting roll, but the modifier was even worse. So
Oh, no.
was it 17,
12.
14 from me.
14, 12, and a 7. Ba, 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 ba. 1 second, I just have to just double check.
Go on, roll dog for.
So
Radio.
during the
And-
okay, go for it.
We also need to do the reverse, potentially,
Ooh.
if there is anybody. I am potentially, maybe, trying to perceive you guys. Everybody roll me a stealth.
I don't know. 17 for the
18.
19.
13-foot tall pixie lady.
It's a combination of stealth and inconspicuousness. One of the things, it's not so much you see anybody snooping around, but you do notice two mechanical individuals who probably about once every half hour seem to swing around the shop.
Like around the back of the shop?
They just walk down one side, other side, and walk off.
Mechanical SROs or drones?
Difficult to tell without getting closer. They could be Android, they could be SRO. Not drones, they seem too autonomous.
Can you manufacture a meet cute, Eva? Bumping into one of them to get up.
I could try, but do we want to engage?
Seemed like
We can follow him.
Every half hour, they can't be going far. Let's do
I mean, we
it.
can also engage. It's up to you.
Let's follow.
I've heard the word engage several times on comms. Do you want me to come and head over with you guys?
Hmm
Okay.
Give me time
Yeah,
to
Flimsy,
finish
come on down. We haven't nested the S word yet, so Jahir's behaving himself.
Gives me time to finish this cappuccino. I think she has pulled out like sunglasses out of her disguise kit, and like the rattiest blonde shake and go wig.
I honestly thought you were gonna say I pulled a pair of sunglasses out of another dimension. Just so like I need sunglasses. Wink.
No, she's
I mean, if the Witch Chopper can, they should.
Do witch warpers get prestidigitation?
I do have token spell.
Okay, yeah. That's the equivalent. So yeah, I'd totally allow it that you could just press your token spell up, because that will allow you to make small objects, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could make yourself a pair of sunglasses and as a witch warper just borrow them out of another dimension.
I just remember when we horribly used the disguise kit on the Horsehead Nebula platform. I like the idea that she thinks she's like some sort of spy, but like just has no idea. She's got like literally a Halloween set with her.
Big crayon colors for like.
Mhm.
Dude.
Mhm.
And half props aren't in your size.
Like I'm literally not even rolling a disguise check for it because it's just there's no point.
if there was a drama roll, you could roll the drama roll.
Mhm.
Look over the sunglasses.
But yes, we'll wait for Flimsy and to come, and then we'll follow and potentially engage.
Ooh.
So yeah, this is the next day, by the way. Unloading the ship and whatnot took far too long for it to be the same day. So you've all rested overnight. If that's anything that anybody needs to do. I just realized that I'm keeping track of this in my brain, but I might not have been telling you guys roughly when this was. So yeah, you're waiting for films to come over. You're then waiting for these two individuals to sort of like do their route and disappear again, and you're gonna follow them at that point. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Everybody make me stealth checks.
12.
Needed to be
16.
natural 20 from Flimsy for an 18.
8 from Jahir.
So you see these two mechanical people complete their patrol. You get up from your street side cafe table and start following them. Unfortunately for you guys, they do notice you. I'm not entirely sure whether it's the fact that Flimsy is huffing and puffing, trying to keep up with people who move faster, whether it's Jahir yelling about to Flimsy, come on, we need to keep up, or whether it's Yaver who's yelling at Jahir to be quiet. Or Trix just trying to do whatever it is that Trix does.
Buckle.
But they sort of like take a corner. You guys come up to the corner and you see them sort of like watching your corner from the other side of the street. They clock you, turn the same corner. They see you. And then they break into a run
Oh, the fools. I chased them.
in two different directions.
Chase one of them.
For the
what
sake
do
of argument. Sorry.
what, like, I was gonna say, what do they look like? How do we pick between them?
They both look fairly similar. They are wearing dusters with wide-brimmed hats and bandoliers.
Ugh, so
Detectobots.
cliche.
You can't see at this range any major difference between the two of them.
You know what that is? All robots look alike.
So offensive.
Android racist?
Who's going
maybe?
with Trix and who's going the other way?
Will I go with Trix?
I'll go with
Keep up.
Flimsy.
Flimsy can't keep up with Tricks. So.
Exactly.
Well, nobody can keep up with Trix here. Not unless you brought the motorcycle.
No. Or
No.
did you?
To the
Or
cafe.
Mrs. Spudsy.
I mean, yeah, Miss Mama D, Mrs. Spuds, the Goblin Junk Cycle. These are things that help you move around a little bit quicker. Yeah, you're all on foot.
We need
All
that
right,
Pokeball.
Trix, are you going after left or right?
Left.
Okay, and Jahir is with Trix.
Yep.
Yaver Flimsy, you're on the right. And you're hoping to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of you is. All right, could everybody roll me some initiatives because this is getting complicated. And I want to not slow this down, just keep it more organized, as it were.
18.
14 Tricks and Yaver and a 10 from Flimsy.
Perfect.
All right. You see them just dash off, probably getting about 60 feet before you sort of like realize that they've spotted you and they're just running for it. Jahir, what are you doing? This is it's mid-afternoon. They're across a rather busy street. Cars are driving up and down the street. Are you diving down into traffic, jumping over traffic, pulling out your gun and trying shooting them from here? What are you?
Would I know what kind of reaction it would get if I drew a weapon and started firing it?
Oh, probably a bad one.
I'm going to try and keep up. Would I have time to sort of holster my weapon, or I assume my sword's on the back, but I think I'm carrying the rail cannon.
When you say holster the weapon, do you mean unholster?
No, I mean so I can use all my limbs to.
I'm assuming that you didn't have your weapons out at this time.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll try and chase after them then.
Rightio. How are you trying to get across the street?
Over the top of the car, superhero style. I think it's action.
All right, so you're gonna be
a few bonnets and
do acrobatics to sort of like leap cars and slide and
just sort of jump up and then leap across the cars. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, Jahir.
All right, make me an acrobatics check.
That was a 9.
It starts off by going fairly well. You sort of like dash out into the road and the car slams on their brakes just as you sort of like slide across it, but then you stumble in front of it. You pretty much cartwheel off the side of that, and you manage to sort of like duck and roll as this lorry comes hurtling past. It narrowly misses you. You're not injured, but you are basically sat in the middle of the road. You pick yourself up and make your way across, but it's taken time to recover from that.
Slowed down. Yeah.
All right, Trix, same situation. What are you doing?
Same resolution. There's only one cool and proper way to get over when you don't have a grappling hook because you forgot to buy one, and that is to jump over the traffic.
All right, acrobatics to jump over the traffic.
There's that one. 15.
You managed to make it a little bit further than Jahir. The only problem is it's all about style when it comes to tricks, and as you're sort of like sliding over the top of one car going into a cartwheel, you try to look at Jahir and sort of like go, hee. The only problem is that's so distracting that you land just at the side of the road and you barely manage to get out of the way as a car comes screaming past you with its horn going.
At least I didn't land in a convertible. That would be embarrassing.
Again, unfortunately, delaying you a little bit this round. Next up, we have Yeva.
Okay, so we're chasing in the other direction.
They're still across the road, but they've basically split off down two streets.
How close together are they?
They were stood next to each other, and basically,
So they're 60 feet apart.
they're now like 120 feet apart because one ran 60 feet in one direction and one ran 60 feet in the other direction.
Well, shit. All right, so I'm gonna run 30 feet towards our mark, and she, as soon as she gets there, she kind of like pulls her fist out and focuses, and then just like pulling a ripcord on a lawnmower, is going to use Infinite Worlds as a second level spell, and this mechanical figure needs to make a reflex save, as these like waivers of force just attempt to pull it back 10 feet and knock it prone.
All right, and you're right, aren't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on the right side.
All right.
DC
We
16 reflex.
All right. What happens if I roll a 9 by any chance, sir?
If you fail,
If I rolled a 9, what happens?
so you get pulled back 10 feet, 5 feet per spell level, and are knocked prone. Oh, no. I'm sorry. That's if you roll a natural 1. Excuse me. So you're just knocked prone.
Okay, so knocked prone. So yeah, they've fallen on their ass.
I can do
And
that 2 more times. We gotta catch up.
all right. Yeah, unfortunately, you've got Flimsy on your team.
I know.
Cheers.
Well, I mean, you might come out with something. You might impress me. I mean, if you were just in your cargo lifter, I'm pretty sure that has got a faster speed than you, doesn't?
Nope, slower than Flimsy.
Is it slower than Flimsy? Wow.
Yep,
Okay.
15 foot.
I thought the GM was meant to be impartial.
It's not my experience.
I am impartial. You're all fantastic people who have wonderful abilities. It's just some of you also have wonderful disadvantages. And Flimsy, it's the speed.
Pretty much so. So on the other side of this road, right?
Yep.
Flimsy would like to run to the lights and will try and use his overload ability to stop the traffic for a round.
Okay.
Flimsy's he's upgraded with several new abilities now, and one of them is overload. So he's gonna run to the lights and draw a straight line, like would leave like an orange glow on it from his fingertip, which is the rune for freeze. Is going to freeze the lights.
So you're trying to disrupt traffic, bring it to a standstill.
Hopefully to clear for both sides, but I don't know how well that's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to stop traffic. You're on the same street at the moment. They're running, one's running parallel with the street, one's running perpendicular with the street. And you're just trying to close the distance somewhat. They might turn, who knows. All right. Is that a check? Does that just happen?
I think it just happens.
All
unless
right.
Someone's holding it.
Yep. Make me a sleight of hand check.
Okie dokie. That's very far away. It's an 8 and a 10 on the
All right.
dice. Please nobody crash. Please nobody crash.
So yeah, you're seen doing this.
Mhm.
And the lights, they just get scrambled. It's not just shutting down because that's attached to the local grid. This just messes them up, and it seems to just rapidly cycle red, orange, green, red, orange, green, red, orange, green, red, 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 orange, 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 green, green, green. Traffic just grinds to a halt, and everybody's looking at you.
Flimsy will put on his best kind of officious voice. Maintenance check. Like wave a tool in the air if you can do.
Is there anything else you're doing with your turn? You still gotta move, kind of.
Well, if still got move left, he'll continue moving towards the one that Yiva has yeeted to the floor.
Yep. Okay. Radio.
In the street now, going maintenance check.
You're just walking across the street. Maintenance.
Did it in real life works?
All right. So you see, Trix, you hear, you see your target just continue just blocking it down the street. He goes down another block before you get a chance to react. Flimsy, there. You see your guy basically just jump up, move as far away as possible. But they have had to spend time getting up, so they're not as far as the other guy. You can still see both of them at this stage. Jahir, Flimsy, Trix, Jahir. Wait, I said Flimsy, Yather. You can still see both of them. Trix, Jahir, because you're starting to go down the street, you've lost sight of the right-hand guy. So you're running out of time. If you wanted to switch targets, to switch targets. Top of the next round would be Jahir.
I don't know. Trix, what are we doing? Can we catch him?
You can catch him. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, the traffic stopped. I'm just gonna try and run as fast as I can.
All right. You jump up because you rolled it badly enough that you fell on your ass, and you just start bucking it towards him.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe an athletics check.
It is a 24.
Yeah, you have absolutely no problem. So, like, just heading into a dead sprint down the road, you're just, you're going a full sprint, just weaving between these cars, trying to get all the way across the road. You managed to make up a little bit of time that you lost, but he is still, 90 feet away from you guys. All right. Next is Trix.
Trix is gonna book it after.
All right. Are you just running or anything fancy?
If it's just a straight line, it's quickest for Trix to just book it.
All right. Make me an athletics check.
27.
All right, Jahir, you think you're making pretty good progress when you feel this breeze just fly past you. Shouting encouraging words. But yeah, Trix is just managing to close the distance, even more so. You're probably about 60 feet away from the guy. Trix, Yeva. They're about 120 away from this guy.
Right, so she's gonna run at least. This is tough because no matter what, they're always gonna get. Even if I keep knocking them prone, they're gonna be able to stand up and run 30 feet. So I'll move 30 feet and we'll kind of stay 120 feet.
Well, they're double moving, you're double moving. Oh, you moved a single?
I moved and then
first
used
round?
Infinite World as a standard action.
In the first round, they double moved and then single moved because they had to stand up. So
Right.
by using your Infinite Worlds, you're managing to keep pace, but at the same token, it's no different from keeping pace by making a double move. Only problem is that's also going to leave Flimsy further behind.
Flimsy's got no more tricks in the bag. He's going to be running there. Such as it
Tell
is.
yourself, Shaw. You got plenty of tricks in the bag. You just need to figure out creative ways of using them.
Right. I'm going to. She's going to keep running 30 feet. And then. If I can. I'll be fishing for a crit fail, essentially, by doing this. But she'll move up another 30 feet. And this time, we'll kind of just trying to find these little tethers of realities that she can pull to pull him back. She's, as she uses another second level Infinite World and like causes the concrete underneath them to like come up and try and knock them down. Another reflex save.
So 22.
Nothing happens. They avoid it.
Yeah, the terrain is like starts breaking up in front of them. You're doing massive. Does that stick around, or is it one of it's a part? Is it an illusionary effect?
It's an instantaneous effect, so it does not stick around. It's just
Yeah, but
enough-
I mean, you've broken the concrete floor of a public street. Is that still broken?
No, because it's not difficult terrain or anything. It's just
Right,
an
okay, so-
instantaneous effect that like it happens and then disappears.
Reality warps for a moment. The ground rises up, trying to trip them up.
Right.
They manage to get past it, and then as soon as it is, you blink, it's back. Okay.
Mhm.
It's a
So
path
you're
from one of the
not
worlds.
causing massive
there for a while.
destruction to public property,
Not yet.
unlike Flimsy. Okay. So okay, yeah, yep. Okay. Flimsy, you're up.
He doesn't want to shoot this guy, and will continue to run. Perhaps might shout, "Somebody stop that guy!" to the people on the street.
Hey.
Somebody stop him! He's dangerous. To see if anyone will help.
All right,
As we're
you're
running along.
gonna need to make me some kind of check. It's gonna be a bluff check, I feel, because you're lying.
That's not true. We wanted to stop him. We think he's dangerous.
So you.
It was very carefully considered work.
Yeah, but it's also a lie.
It's
To
not a
a
lie.
You're twisting words there.
Carefully.
By basically carefully twisting words, but you know, at the end of the day, you don't know this guy from Adam. These two people could have just been out on a daily walk every hour because that's what robots do.
A robotic aerobics session every day.
Every hour. So yeah, make me either I'll give you an intimidate or a bluff.
We'll go for.
Oh, both of them really do screw you over comparatively.
They do. Here we go. Hence the arguments. 13 from Flimsy. Flimsy's not an envoy.
Yeah, you're also not a person of power or authority. Sorry, if you were the police or
Yeah.
was even slightly dressed, then I'd allow you a diplomacy. But I can't give this as a diplomacy.
That's fair.
So you yell, "Stop that guy!" and everybody, you know. You were just claiming to be maintenance not 2 minutes ago, and they're just now so confused and wondering, what is this guy doing? A couple of them have gotten out their sort of like cell phones and started videoing this crazy dwarf in the middle of the crossroads, yelling, "Stop that guy!" And are you running for the rest of your turn?
Yeah, we'll be flat out as long as much as possible.
Yeah. All right, don't forget, if you are going in a straight line, you can also sprint, which is 4 times your movement.
It's a full action.
Yeah.
Full action, you cannot do anything else. It is 4 times your movement, but you're not able to do anything else. So if there is a consequence, you're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
All right, so guy on the left turns a corner and starts bucking it. Tricks, you know exactly which corner it is. He's like 30 feet ahead of you. You can't see where he's going, but it's just around the corner. How difficult can that be? Doobly doobly doop doop. Okay, and the guy on the right, he's going to try to basically run across another road that still has traffic going up and down it. He's trying to put as much between you and him. and he's not trying to do this gracefully. He's just trying to do it as forcefully as possible. You can both pretty much still see that. And he gets winged by this car and just spun around and lands on his arse the other side of the road. Sorry, they land on their arse the other side of the road. You've not established gender yet. And so, yeah, they're now prone through no course of your own, but they have still managed to get one movement away from you guys. I am forgetting what time we're on. I think we're gonna call it here.
Anger.
This week. I try to remember where we're exactly up to. It's the top of basically the round for you guys doing things. I am going to have to keep a lot of notes on exactly what's going on. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Will our intrepid heroes manage to catch these two completely innocent people who were just out for a walk? Or is there something more nefarious afoot? We shall find out next week. In the meantime, I've been Karen Russmore and will continue to be so. You can usually find me here on Mondays, streaming the Good Crew of the Fool's Gold. And also you can find me on my own channel on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, which is twitch.tv/Karen Russmore. Flimsy.
Oh, I'm JStation64. I've been playing Flimsy the Dwarf Mechanic. You can find me over on my own stream playing No Man's Sky on Twitch under the same name. On Thursdays at 9 p.m. as we are building a new civilization, Jaystown. And on Saturday mornings, 9:30 a.m. playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So we're rounding off our series of legendary quests for Batman Arthur Morgan. And that's me.
Hi everyone, I'm Crifu Bernal. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you want to check out more awesome stuff from here at Manapod, you can see the calendar and schedule and the rest of the games down below, as well as the Manapod Discord. Myself, I should be back over at my channel, twitch.tv/CrifuBernal tomorrow to continue my solo playthrough of the Pathfinder Skull and Shackles Adventure Path in the Spear and the Sea. Oh, and then this Sunday, I will be back here on Manapot, where I'm GMing a very special episode of the Book of Bethesda as our Star Sailors continue investigating their mysterious origins in and around the planet of Bethesda.
Yo, I'm Crit Commissions. I do artsy things on social media under the same tag.
And I am RetroTed. You can find me at RetroTed. Nope, that's wrong. Twitch.tv/RetroTed. We've just finished Icewind Dale, finally. And we are moving on to Simon the Sorcerer, the original release.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thank you all again for joining us this week. Hope to catch you next week and hope that you're all going to stick around for the raid. If you don't, have a good evening, or good time zone. And yeah, until next time, taddy bye.
Bye.